where I left off yesterday as I was trying to find the pawn shop. So that I can pay my bill at the cafeteria to be able to stay there. Alright. Let's see, I've checked pretty much everywhere. Let's see if this goes anywhere. Alright, I haven't been in this area before. The humanitarian aid tuna fish not for resale. This says speakers from the people of Samara. This says food gift from the people of Messina. A helpline to the company that controls the drawbridge. Hot air rises up from the sewer, sour, acidic, and strangely comforting. Okay. Why would that be comforting? I guess there's nothing more on this side. Fingerless gloves. Water lock out of the order until Wednesday at 7:15 a.m. Alright, this has got to be the pawn shop. Some kind of machine, an antique cash register. Mostly military wear with a few more eccentric fashion thrown in.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reels. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that says Stereo 8 approved. This is you. Golden orange. A sunset suite. Just make sure it works before you buy it.
Alright, let's leave that for now because I need to focus on getting the cafeteria paid back.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Try to find something pretty and cool here, then use it to win her back.
Win who back?
Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in the blink of an eye.
Franco-Nigerian knight. I used to be very serious about these guys.
A long, long time ago. They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords and rifles with bayonets.
This is what the loyalists looked like, yes, at first. Then they wised up and got camouflage.
Which ones? Ah, royalist soldiers from the time of the Revolution. The uniforms are painted a bit too brightly, I suppose.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tall sticks.
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers, revolutionary soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the Royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. I don't like either set very much, to be honest. But there are many parents among my customers.
Dig up a truly cool figurine in the box under the table. 72%.
Everything you pick out seems faded, chipped, and sad somehow. Most of them are just broken toys.
Bust of a woman, the plague. The plaque simply says DEI.
It's clear you like the hard stuff, Brota.
The what sounds like my stomach is growling. Why is my lower intestine going out?
Evening falls. The time has come to take a vow.
Vows.
The vows are blood and flesh.
What is my lower intestine going on about?
Lower intestine? The term is metabolic and circulatory system.
Okay, but what's the hard stuff?
Fascism, Brota.
What is fascism?
Many
though?
things, but it's mostly about trusting your gut. Who does your gut tell you is the source of Revishal's problems?
Foreigners, financiers, leftists, academics, liberals. I thought you were my circulatory system.
Quit stalling, Bruta. Yes, them, but also women.
Women? What?
Women, men of war.
Oh.
You don't like them. They're insane. Their idiocy needs to be scrubbed off this world with rubbing alcohol. Woo men need to go back to the fucking kitchen.
What?
That's what fascism boils down to. The rest is also important. But the main thing is that woo men need to know their place.
Seriously.
You're going to keep your voos, right? Keep your voos, Brota. There's a slow, painful growl somewhere in your intestines, knocking on your alcohol-engorged liver. It is one of betrayal and disappointment.
All right then.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out from the other garb. Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burning embers. Behind him is a cluster of cabins engulfed in flames. Beneath him are the words, Hyondal burning. Smells like worn cotton and a little old sweat there. Worn cotton with a side of flea market or trash bin.
Sniffing is okay, but please don't try anything on. Can't have you leaving your photon emissions in the fabric of things you're not going to buy.
Okay.
You're not imagining it. Photon emissions? What is he talking about?
Alright, so where's this guy at? Oh, there he is.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
I haven't had any problems myself, though some of my customers have complained about inconsistent law enforcement.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travelers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored. As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from. It keeps me entertained.
Entertained? He might be high. If he is, on what?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
What? Sold?
What?
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind. She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her. Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the Citizens Militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it?
Maybe she's a vigilante and wants to prove she can do our jobs better than we can. I don't like it either. What if she intends to commit a crime or blame it on the crime militia? I'm sorry I sold my gun. Okay. Let's go with I don't like it either. What if she intends to commit a crime and blame it on the citizens
You're
militia?
right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her.
Any idea where I can find this buyer?
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming from or where she went.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Everett wasn't lying, and the Union can track her down in time.
Have people from Everett clear as Union come here to track that gun?
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
Wait, then it might be true. Everett's claims.
Maybe Claire really is tracking down your gun.
At least now I know how I lost my sidearm. Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
I have other business to take care of now. Oh, there's something I'd like to
Yes,
sell.
we'd like to sell these hubcaps.
The lieutenant steps in and hands him the spinners.
Roy takes the hubcaps from the lieutenant and inspects them. The spinners appear iridescent in the dancing light of his pawn shop.
Yes, these are very, very good. Did you defraud some foreign prince for them? Jump-a-mesque banger? No matter. I'll give you 200 real.
No one was defrauded or jumped, I assure you.
The lieutenant explains as the pawnbroker opens the register and counts the cash.
Of course. I meant no offense. 200 real for you, officer. Delightful doing business with you. Do come again.
Thank you.
He takes the cash, then turns
Here's
to
the
you.
130 real you need for your bill. Do not waste it.
The rest goes in his pocket.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
I like to sell my clothes. What? I have a fascinating photo of a corpse here. What? I'll check my pockets. I don't have anything. I'll check my pockets.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
I don't know what I need these postcards for, so I'm just going to sell them. Let's sell the pen. Alright. I don't have anything to sell at the
Another
moment.
time, perhaps.
Let's try this one.
Okay, he definitely is high. Whatever it is, you've probably done it, and many other things besides. But you can't cut through the jumble of sensations to get to the answer. Looking at his wares, talking to him, that might give you more clues.
You might be able to aid our investigation.
I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business, bad for everyone.
No one likes to see what you have to see every day.
Actually, that's all
The
I've got.
pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Let's see. I wanted to ask about my missing gun again.
Sure thing. Sure, man.
Alright. Alright, let's go pay the cafeteria the money that I owe.
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it?
I have your money.
Well,
see what it says. Okay. Slam the bills down on the counter. I hope you choke on it. Here it is. Sorry for the trouble.
Great. Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. If you continue to stay here, I just ask that you please pay your nightly bill in advance starting tomorrow. The electronic lock to your room has been disabled till 9 p.m. tomorrow. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
Alright, are these people here yet? 23, 28. I don't know if there's anything else I can do today.
The worker is in a deep slumber.
Can I not talk to any of these other people? Guess not. Oh, this guy. Oh. Alright, well, I suppose let's...
Yes?
Why did the 41st send me? I think you should know that I can't remember anything. Okay.
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Good night, Lieutenant.
Just a moment. We should talk about our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
Alright.
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
Now then, we should talk about the investigation. But I also feel you're a bit hazy on the RCM. Our role here, our rights, our jurisdiction, basically.
I didn't know you smoked, Kim.
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
oh man, he looks so devastatingly cool with that cigarette.
I think I might want to pick up smoking. Do you have any more cigarettes?
I apologize, but I only brought one with me. I have exactly one cigarette every night while going over my notes.
Alright then, the debrief.
Yes, it's been a long and eventful day.
How do you think today went?
Well, we inspected the victim's body, so that's good. It was not easily approachable in that state, but we did it. I would say our initial inspection was very thorough, and we have solid leads to follow up on. Then you shot the body down, which was quite a shot.
There's something really, I was just doing my job. I was inspired by your confidence in me. I just wanted to shoot more crap. I think I was born with a gun in my hands. Dang straight, I'm a sharpshooting cop.
It enabled us to perform a field autopsy on the victim. We found some things we can really work with. I still feel like we missed something, but it's up to the boys in processing now. We did perform a thorough search of the crime scene. That's great. Now, as for interviews, my list of people to talk to here in Martinez, I mean.
He takes a deep drag and looks at the city. Well, let's see, that's my forte. Unlike most cops, I understand how important communication is in our line of work. Initial interviews, yes, well, we talked to some people. I wish we didn't have to do any of the interviews. People are treacherous. Let's go to the first
Very
one.
important indeed. Well, we conducted an interview with Everard Clare. He wasn't particularly forthcoming with useful information, however.
I'm sure I can get him to tell us more. He's a tough cookie, that one. I'm a little intimidated by him, honestly. He has stuff on me. Let's go with he's a tough cookie.
Claire also helped you, how should I say, remember your name? That's a relief.
Big relief, it's a very serviceable name too. I don't know how I feel about my name actually. I want a different name, one I haven't ruined yet. Let's go. Big relief, it's a very serviceable name too.
Moving on. We talked to Joyce Messier, but didn't get any information from her. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
I have a really good theory about why you're running so fast, son. Just you wait until we get up tomorrow.
I don't like to waste time, my mind moves fast, the rest has to try to keep up. I'm training for a long distance run. I want to raise money for charity. Yeah, that's just how we are. That's just how we roll in Precinct 41. I don't know why I do things I don't know why I do the things I do, Lieutenant. Let's go with... I don't like to waste time, when my mind moves fast, the rest has to try to keep up.
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hills.
He nods thoughtfully, tapping his finger on his cigarette.
Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
He looks at your snakeskin shoes and smiles suddenly.
Thank you for the compliment. We could manage it even in wooden clogs. There are uncanny running reservoirs in this body. God knows why.
So what are our superpowers exactly? The RCM?
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule.
Okay, what else?
We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station cold sleep. It prevents confusion and overcrowding.
Wait, how can you be sure the arrestee will show up?
You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up.
I see, and if someone resists?
We are permitted to use whatever force we deem necessary, even lethal.
Have you ever killed anyone, Kim?
Yes. The last time was 4 years ago.
He has internalized it well. It's just that. A fact. A self-contained past event. There is a slight physical revulsion in him while saying that, but he's worked through it in the intervening years.
What happens to the people we convict?
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Couron and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
He taps on his coat pocket where he keeps his notes. Wait, so if I kill someone while on duty, ...
You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In these cases, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for the best.
And who makes all these rules?
The coalition government, and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less.
His gaze is absently fixed on a window below that just went dark.
Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM.
Let's say it was the coalition government.
It's probably more honest, yes. Either way, the Moralintern leases us the right to keep the peace in this city, and they will take it away if we misuse it.
The Moral Lantern, what is it?
The Moralist International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
If I didn't know, how would you describe them?
They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
What do they believe in?
What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
What is their symbol?
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not. Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something almost self-explanatory. Something ominous.
Okay.
Something even a little feminine, but in a strict manner. Something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
Who was Dolores Day?
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
What do you think of them?
The Moralintern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen.
I have opinions on the Moral Lantern.
Do you?
Second thought, I don't have an opinion. Forget about it.
My kind of police officer.
He nods, a light smile that looks at the roundabout.
The lights of the orphan district are reflected in his glasses. The red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like pearls on a string from east to west as Revachol commutes back to the suburbs. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Monday is over.
Say nothing, just look into the nights.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag. This soldier is the highlight of the day for me, he thinks. This little stick right here. An aerostatic passes overhead, the whiskers of its floodlights on the ground below. Kitsuragi's glasses light up as he looks to the sky. 2 glowing circles.
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different in land, in Jamrock and the GRIH.
Why are they like this?
It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the union, to the company. Not daring to come here more often. It's like I told you, this place is an orphan, fallen between the cracks.
And in Jamrock and the GRIH?
We run this city. West of the river is RCM land.
He looks at the dark silhouette of the equestrian monument cutting into the night sky.
It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
I hope our investigation will help improve the situation here, at least do some good.
Me too. But I wouldn't count on any drastic changes in our lifetimes.
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger, not older.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
He puts out the stub of his cigarette and looks to the door. See you in the morning. Bye.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned with the expression.
Alright, well, I guess all that's left is to go to bed.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting, but it's yours. The sheets look awful.
Alright, what the heck? There we go. Okay, crawl in.
The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come.
But I want to sleep.
Obviously, you're in bed with your eyes closed, but it's not happening.
Why?
Maybe it's the bed's fault.
Check
Its synthetic filling has separated into hard lumps. The pillowcase smells oddly. Smells of alcohol and sweat and grease.
Check the blankets.
It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing. Under your thrumming eyelids, you see a dizzying array of colors. You won't get off this carousel quite so easily.
Roll over onto the
It's a
other
little
side.
better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it?
No more thoughts. Fall asleep now.
Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
Okay. Why am I outside?
Do you remember the scent of your childhood?
What is this?
What it says on the can, Harry. Answer the question.
I remember nothing.
Do you remember your wife's hand on your face?
You said who?
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth?
Tell me what this is. I'm not answering before you tell me who you are.
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs, between her legs and in her mouth?
I
Oh
left.
no, Funky baby, you stayed. It was the rest of it that left. Or you just stood there, with one hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. watching it go.
Alright then.
Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
I can get it all back.
No, it's gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. You failed. You failed me. You failed Elysium.
I can come back from this.
You're not coming back from shit. Thrashing around in that high conductivity state of yours. Bumping into things and acting like a clown. Who are you kidding?
What is Elysium?
Everything. The Pale and the Islas. On the surface. The outer magnetosphere. Burning, furious truth. 8,000 years of written history. You really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. And you failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
I've talked to you before.
No, Harry. You were just talking to yourself. That's all you ever do. Even in your dreams. And the act is wearing thin. The spots of the disco ball fade around you. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time. Sweating up the bed. Stinky boy.
Okay. I'm trying to solve this case.
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than velvet. Grinding in your head.
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
There's another type?
Oh yes, party boy, and it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry. Time to go to work in the shit factory.
Okay. Oh, let's see. Hold yourself together, keep your morale up. Let's do that one. All right. And we got gasoline stained fingerless gloves in navy blue. They've been worn threadbare, but being made of wool still provides some warmth. Logic, balancing the books, -1 authority. Okay. +1 of spirit day, corpse haulage, and watermarks. Looks like someone skinned this blazer off some long extinct disco animal, and it has an enigma white rectangle on the back and the right sleeve. Alright, let's take a look at our stuff. Find money for rent. Need to find 20 real to pay for your room at the Whirly Jig, or it will be locked after 2100. As long as you don't have a free place to stay, you have to do this every night. Smoker on the balcony. So I need to visit the apartment after 2100. And I didn't get the boots off the hangman. Let's see. The body has to be down, autopsy has to be finished, and Kim has to be absent. He wouldn't approve. This will be devilishly tricky, so don't beat yourself up if you manage to send the body to the processing without getting hold of the boots. So I need to find an armor piece. You really just want one piece of the armor. It's enough. Find and locate one piece of the armor, and this one's done. Get a reality lowdown. You have no idea where you are. Lena encouraged you to ask others to explain the word to you in greater detail. Perhaps try a rich person. Rich people are educated. Okay. Special borscht. Who's so special about the borscht? What's so special about the borscht that strikers are eating? The cook in the whirling in rags is making it. You can find him in the kitchen. Look into it. Everett asked you to open the basement apartment door behind the greenhouse. Okay, I did that. Let Everett know you unlocked the door. Sing karaoke. You need to find a sufficient tragic tape, then play it on the boombox to memorize the lyrics, then ask the cafeteria manager to perform, preferably in the evening. More people at the bar then. Get hold of a sad song on a tape. Explore the whirling secret passages. Alright, find a way into the secret passage. We gotta figure out who made the call. Keep searching for the caller despite lacking any obvious leads. This might take some time. Ask around about the tattoos. And find the badge. Find the person who has access to the thing. Okay, so I need to find a way into the chimney. I already did that. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can sneak out to his car. Oh, the union room's open. I thought they only came at night. Really? Wow. Okay.
Over here.
She snaps her fingers. Okay.
Let me handle this.
The woman says to the crowd in the mess hall before
You
turning
seem
to
a
me.
little different today. Less hospitable.
You are far from home, lieutenants. This isn't a district known for its love of self-proclaimed militiamen.
You're not a gardener. Enough, let's talk seriously. I mean, no trouble. I'm here to do my job, that's all. You're right, Lieutenant. She did seem friendlier sitting on the corner.
Not a muscle moves in her face, but her eyes trace yours, stern perceptive.
You are looking for Titus Hardy, who you think has information on a murder the RCM is investigating. You want to interview him.
She points to the man standing in the middle of the room.
That's Titus. Talk to him. But know this. I'll be keeping an eye on you. No strong arming. Nothing official. The District of Martinez does not recognize your authority to make arrests.
It doesn't matter if you recognize our authority. We will make an arrest if we have to.
She says nothing. Her glare speaks for her. Could this be the Miss Beaufort that Easy Leo mentioned? The one Mr. Everard sent to law school?
Why are you so aggressive?
Aggressive? You make your living enforcing violence. These people are just dock workers.
So you were spying on us, and now you represent murder suspects. Just dock workers.
Listen, you Moralington lackeys. You're a mob, enforcing the unlawful privatization of Revachol. 20 fat men in the Occident are stealing it all, and you're their bodyguards.
Fuck yeah.
The tall, broad-shouldered man takes a sip of his beer.
So ask what you came to ask, or get back to your commanders.
The world needs a financial buffer zone. No need to get emotional.
No one is emotional here. Do your job,
Her expression
question,
stiffens further.
then
Do
leave.
your job, ask your questions, then leave. What's your role in all this?
Obviously, I'm a lawyer, a legal counselor for the Dock Workers Union. I would urge you to consider what you say to my clients.
Are you Lizzie, Elizabeth, Miss Buford?
I suggest not wasting time on trivial pleasantries and focusing on why you are actually here. Titus Hardy.
Even though she has excellent control over herself, something moved behind her eyes. In the way she stands. In her face. You caught her off guard. Push her some more.
Hardy, not yet. I had another question.
No. Talk to Titus.
What if I want to talk to you, not Titus?
What you want is of no significance, officer. Don't test your authority. In Martinez, you are no one.
What are you going to do to me?
What are we going to do to you? The union isn't going to do anything to you. It is not a crime syndicate. It is a labor organization.
Goddamn right it is.
If anything, it is the RCM who do things to people. But we digress.
It's a bowl. There's spit in it, reeking of tobacco. That's disgusting. You see the hawthorn bushes outside. Nonsense, you know?
This is where you say your bit.
A broad-shouldered man points at you with a beer can.
Detective,
The lieutenant acknowledges you with a sharp note. He's leaving it to you. I need to talk to you about the man hanged out back.
Oh, this is about him. A real looker, that one.
You sure took your time, huh? Waited for him to get real ripe and pretty for you.
Oh, he was a real pretty boy. Hanging up there, letting out that pretty boy smell. I can't for the life of me understand why you did it. I mean, I would have just left him up there. You must really like cleaning up other people's shit.
Okay.
You might want to start asking your questions now. It's not going to get better than this.
Do a head count first. Connect these men to the tracks you saw in the yard. Chances are they're going to match. Starting from the right, boot size 44, blonde man, in his 30s, overbearingly masculine, sitting on his right, standard working boots, size 45 or 46, eldest in the room, probably mid-50s, smoker, quiet, across at the other table, hobnailed working boots, size 43, gang tattoos, Mesk or Sarah Mauritian, in his late 30s, early 40s, and then standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 46, the big dick, wide at the shoulders and lean at the hips, rugby cap, fingerless gloves, and numerous scars, a little under 40. The emblem on his vest says Rowing Club. A little patch below it reads T. Hardy, Captain. In the far corner, standard working boot, steel reinforced toes, size 44, 40-something, non-alcoholic beverage in hand. You squint. Is that a plectrum? On his neck. Forget it. It's not important. Let's call this one the musician. Size 41, with the light step. Not a child, after all. An older man with a rat face, mean, watery eyes, and 2 front teeth missing. In the middle, heaving and wheezing. Big guy. Boot size 46, deep marks. Probably carried the victim over. He, alone, is 130 kilos. Add the man in armor, and you could easily exceed 220. In conclusion, these 7 are the actors on the crime scene. The footprints were theirs, but there's a discrepancy.
One of them is missing the odd soul.
Exactly. You've stood there for about 4 seconds, not saying anything. Hit them with questions. Where's the 8th Hardy?
The fuck is with you, fella?
We found 8 set of footprints, but there's only 7 of you. Where is the 8th Hardy boy?
What are you talking about, madman? There's no 8th Hardy boy. There's 7 of us and we're all here.
He sizes you up.
Or what? You want to be the 8th Hardy boy? We ain't hiring.
He shakes his head.
Actually, boss, we've been talking and we think she could maybe...
She? So there's an 8th Hardy, and it's a Hardy girl? Who might it be? Elizabeth? The gardener?
Shut the fuck up, Glenn! I do the talking here. Now what the fuck do you want, cop?
So let me get this straight. There is an 8th Hardy boy. It's a she, and you don't like us talking about her?
That's right. We're not talking about this. This is a private Hardy Boys matter. Nothing to do with your shit. End.
He points at the lieutenant.
You're not cops here. Don't go digging around if you don't want a bullet in the back of your head. I'm watching you.
Good. We are all watching each other. Officer, your question.
There's no point in pushing it further, he thinks. This is already a victory. We'll learn more about this 8th Hardy sooner or later.
The man hanged in the backyard. Did you do
The
it?
pretty boy. You guys really love talking about that pretty boy.
Funny. But my partner and I have a serious matter to discuss with you.
Why is there a container belt around the dead man's neck? Why are your boot prints all over the scene? I have spoken to the dead man in a bizarre cult. You're involved somehow, I just don't know the proof yet. Why are your boot prints all over the scene?
These boots.
He raises his worker boot, size 46, steel reinforced toe.
We all got
Yes.
a pair. We wore them the night we took the pretty boy out back and hung him by the neck. Yeah, we did this. Together. All of us. Until he was dead. That's why our prints are all over the scene.
There's a catch hidden somewhere. He didn't confess so that you could take them all away. It's too simple.
Squint your eyes, but there's a catch.
There is no catch. These 7 honest men have all equally come forth to tell you what happened, so that you don't waste any more of your time.
Why did you kill him?
'Cause he was worthless mercenary scum. And he stepped out alive in my town.
So he was a mercenary, that's it.
And he stepped out of line.
What kind of mercenary?
The kind that shows up when you start a strike. The experienced kind, too. Had Kohoy and Semenine written all over him. Ex-Oranese Special Forces.
A live grenade. Right here in our bar.
I can't prove it, but I know he was sent by the Wild Pines. They hire merc shit like that. Story of every strike from here to Samara.
Hold on, how do you know he was in Special Forces?
Because one night, he walked straight up to the mic and said, I'm RNA's goddamn special forces, and I'm gonna fuck you all.
Really?
Yeah, really. Had a gin and tonic up there, sang some RNA's paratrooper song, and said he's gonna fuck everyone.
We couldn't believe it either, but he fucking did, right there. Like some kind of animal.
Right, but what did he actually do wrong?
Wrong. He harassed women, raped one, harassed workers, threatened to kill some as a warning.
He wipes spittle from his mouth.
There's a slight unease in him, suddenly. He regrets mentioning the rape.
To kill us all, if we don't open the gates, if we don't let the scabs in, if we don't bend over. And that was before he started coming here.
Yeah, he said it was his favorite joint now. Started coming here every night. Drinking, grabbing girls. Grabbed one of ours mid-karaoke, right there on the stage.
He grabbed someone?
Lieutenant is trying to make sense of this flood of information.
Yeah. This girl's on the mic, a beautiful girl, young. Gets into the second verse of Lover Lake. The fucker grabs her legs, starts screaming. Show me your cunt! Why don't you show me your cunt? Then, he gets knocked on the head with a wine bottle. Doesn't even fall down.
He shakes his head in disbelief. Was this the same girl who was sexually assaulted and raped? You said? Okay, then now about the... Is this the same... Okay.
Aren't you fucking listening? My man is talking to you. He took care of it. They got the girl out before anything else could happen.
Yeah, me and Eugene got her out. Aren't you fucking listening?
Right, but who did the rape then? This is a very serious allegation. Okay, then now about the man you killed.
What about him?
When did this hanging
You
incident
don't have
occur?
to answer any of his questions.
The fixer turns to remind
I
Titus.
know, Lizzie. Relax. We killed him last Sunday night. Seemed like a good way to end the week.
How long had you known the
Known
victim?
him? We don't associate with scum like that, asshole.
Yeah. Who do you think we are?
Quiet. He came around about 3 weeks ago when that Pines cow first sailed into town. Happy?
By the Pines cow, you mean Joyce Messier? The representative for White Pines? The same company you are striking against?
No. I mean the Pines cow. The stupid-ass cow they sent in to fuck us over. But you know what?
Pretending, he rubs his chin, pretending to mull it over.
Why don't you ask her about the pretty boy? I'm sure she has interesting things to say when you ask her hard enough.
That's enough insinuation for today, Titus. Officer, your interview is drawing to an end. Don't waste your last questions.
So we're going to now
Nothing.
conclude.
Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
Nothing. Her reply comes short. Your investigation here is done. Leave Martinez, go back to your stations where you belong.
I think we're going to stick around, thanks. Some things don't add up here, Titus.
The lieutenant closes his
I've done this
notebook.
job for long enough to know that people don't just confess to first-degree murder. Even if it is a group responsibility, we're going to look into this.
Good luck with that. You've heard everything a rent-a-cop is gonna hear from us. Real law officials. You're lucky you didn't get a beating.
I'm going to take off now. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's see. Just got done interviewing those guys. Let's see what...
Good going, buddy.
Is that how it's going to be now when I close
Yes.
my eyes?
Wait till you see the one with the chick in it. It's gonna be a good one.
What?
You feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
What chick?
You don't know? You don't know? Some broad that messed you up. It'll come to you. It always does.
What the... blank is going on with me?
You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
Why is
It's
this
just that
happening?
your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more.
What?
Don't do that. Stay strong. The hangover will wear off. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself.
Wait, what is speed?
Speed is a potent central nervous system stimulant. It kept you propped up all day yesterday, despite your debilitating hangover. How else did you think you even got up from this floor? You got up from this floor because of a holy vow you made 16 years ago. With me. To wake up exactly 7:30 every morning until the day you die.
Okay.
Don't be silly. There was no vow. You were high on speed. That was the only reason you got up. You can't detect without it. It's that simple.
Okay. I need to get more of it then. Detecting is my life. No, I can't take this. I am not going to go looking for speed.
Of course. Martinez is speed central. You just gotta poke around. Follow your nose. You and Speed will be happy again. You will make her come home. This time, it will be different.
Okay.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Are
I am
you
not.
the hardy girl? I am not, she says dryly.
You could be Liz. You could be anything. You could even be a model.
Even a mod? Glenn, I went to law school. I am an attorney.
He's right. With a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International.
He's right, you know. You're very pretty.
The cold look in her eyes speaks louder than words. She is not amused.
Maybe we'll talk later.
Just a moment.
The old woman turns back to the cafeteria
She's
manager.
agitated, judging from the way she keeps pulling at the frayed edge of her blanket.
And there's no public phones nearby?
The closest phone booth is down the coast. Sorry for the inconvenience, ma'am.
The cafeteria manager appears genuinely apologetic.
It's fine, I understand. Thank you anyway. I'm glad to see you again, dear.
Sorry, ma'am, I didn't mean to eavesdrop on your conversation. Tell me how I might make it up to you.
Please don't trouble yourself about me, sweetie. I was just hoping to make a call, but the Whirling's phone line isn't working. The union office probably has a phone, but I can't really get there. Or to the phone booth down the coast. And Gary's phone is dead too.
Wait, what's wrong with the phone line?
The manager was vague about it.
Why would he be vague about phone problems? This is something to look into later. Ask God, maybe.
Why did you need to use the phone anyway?
To let the young woman who's house sitting for us know that we may be delayed. Morel, my husband, and our friend Gary were supposed to get back by Monday night, but they're still missing, and I haven't heard from them. I was also hoping she'd heard from Morel.
Okay, I'll bite. Has your husband gone missing before?
That's just it. This isn't like him at all. He always plans his expeditions so carefully.
A cold breeze hisses through dense thickets of reeds. Something sweet in it, somnolent. A damp chill goes down your spine. When you look around, you're still in the whirling in rags.
But you have more important things to worry about.
She glances out the window toward the bay. What is this expedition your husband was on?
Just some field work, sweetie. Morel is a highly trained scientist. He and his assistant Gary are studying an extremely rare species of insect. But they should have returned by now. They were just going down the coast across the water lock to set a few traps. He said they'd be back on Monday. What could be keeping them?
You mentioned traps. Could there be some problem with them?
I doubt it, sweetie. The traps aren't big enough for humans to get caught in them. They're for the insect. Anyway.
She looks around.
Do it. Find him. This will surely lead to a mystery with that extremely rare insect.
This sounds like police business. I'll help you find your husband.
Are you sure we have time to go chasing after bug hunters just now? I did suggest we play it cool, but...
I think it would be good to take a break from the hanged man for a little while.
A sigh. He takes off his glasses and wipes the lenses on his jacket before replacing them.
Well, the man's already been dead more than a week. I suppose a small diversion won't hurt too much.
Oh, thank you, officers. Truly, I'll be right here if you come across any sign of Morel.
Tell me more about Morel. Looks, character, your relationship.
Oh dear. I'm not sure where to begin.
What does your husband look like?
Well, his expression is slightly grumpy, but his eyes are always bright and curious, like a small boy's. And his palms are quite coarse from all the field work, but he's quite gentle.
Let's try again. If I were trying to meet him on the street, what would I look for? Let's see. She didn't really...
Oh, well, he's a bit shorter than you, but with a larger frame. And he has longish white hair, usually a bit uncombed. You might say wild, even.
The lieutenant pulls out his notebook and begins jotting down the woman's description.
One other thing, he'll likely have all kinds of field gear on him, even if he's not out in the reeds, you know, just in case.
I think I have all the information I need. Let's move on.
I hope I've been useful.
The water lock on the canal is broken, so your husband is probably just stuck on the other side of the coast.
Oh my. What happened to the water lock?
I really don't know.
Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. To both of you. You've spared me another sleepless night.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband. And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
If I see him, I'll let him know you're here when or if I get there. Accept the task.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
Tell me more about this rare insect your husband is looking for.
Oh, sweetie, it's fascinating. But I shouldn't bore you with entomological minutiae.
The lieutenant gives you a sideways glance.
Oh, I want to hear about the insect.
Well, it's a phasmid, technically, but
Oh, yeah. Here comes the interesting.
where other phasmids imitate sticks or leaves, this one's a living reed. It disguises itself among the reeds here on the Insulindian coast. Hence its name, the Insulindian phasmid. Perhaps you'll end up co-discovering the phasmid with us, officers.
She looks you in the eye and nods thoughtfully.
To be honest, this animal sounds like a cryptid. You wouldn't happen to be searching for some kind of gnome of Jeroma, would you?
I smell pseudoscience, he's thinking. Not a big fan of that.
It's simply elusive. So much so that most establishment zoologists doubt it exists at all.
Establishment. I thought so.
His suspicion is confirmed. I thought so. What makes you think that the phasmid is around here? So, is it dangerous? Is it valuable? What makes you think the phasmid is
Well,
around here?
some teenagers making out in the reeds saw one. They didn't know what it was, of course, but there was a brief article in a local newspaper about their encounter with a ghost insect that looks like the reeds. Gary sent us the clipping.
So a newspaper clipping is all the evidence you have.
Of course, most phasmid sightings turn out to be false alarms, but their description matched the Insulindian phasmid perfectly, and they didn't even know what they were looking at.
Enthusiasm has wiped the worry from her face. Her eyes sparkle behind her glasses.
You seem really excited about this cryptid.
I suppose I have something of a personal connection to the Insulindian phasmid. All scientists have their little hobby horses.
So is it dangerous?
Not at all. Why else would it hide itself so carefully?
Is it valuable?
Oh, I doubt it. No one gets into cryptozoology for the money, sweetie.
Does it have cool powers?
Yes, it can blend in almost perfectly among the reeds. It's how it stayed hidden all these years. Centuries, even.
Okay, what's so special about this stick bug thing then? Move on.
Oh dear. I'm afraid I'm not explaining this very well. It is very special.
The woman's face flushes with embarrassment.
Morel can explain it all much better. I wish you could hear him describe it. Then you'd understand, I'm sure.
So your husband is some kind of scientist.
Oh, yes. A zoologist. A cryptozoologist, to be more precise.
What is a cryptozoologist?
It's a pseudoscience that attempts to legitimize research into mythological beasts and urban legends.
The lieutenant sounds unimpressed.
That's one opinion, yes. And people are entitled to their opinions.
She's used to playing off such insults casually, but they still affect her.
My apologies, ma'am. I did not mean to undermine your hobby.
It's not a hobby, dear. It's a subfield of zoology, one specializing in animal species that are so exceedingly rare that many assume them to be extinct or even fictitious. Searching for such species called cryptids is difficult and often thankless, and frankly, many scientists are too lazy to do it. Universities these days are rarely interested in supporting real research.
Maybe you could convince her to tell you about some cool cryptid. Oh, that's all for now, ma'am.
Can I help you?
About my bill for
Got the
tonight.
20 real?
Yeah, 20 real for the night.
Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need another 20 real tomorrow.
Morning.
Gives you a quick nod.
I've got some good news. I took care of the body. The thought of him decomposing in my MC wouldn't let me sleep.
Good,
I'm just
thanks.
glad he's gone. We have other matters to attend to.
Oh well, we'll get the armored boots in another lifetime.
The Union muscle finally turned up, and they look rowdy. We need to talk to them.
We already did. Now, are these the men Garte told us about yesterday?
I completely forgot. Sorry, I had a rough night's sleep. It's them by the looks of it. Loud and nasty, just like the manager said. One loose thread less to worry about, and one big problem to replace it.
Why do we need to talk to them?
Everything points to the dock workers' union. The belt used for hanging him, tracks in the mud, the circumstances in Martinez, my preliminary information, which may, of course, all be wrong. But we still need to talk to them, and it won't be easy.
What do you mean, Rowdy?
Ungovernable. Martinez isn't exactly enthusiastic about the RCM being here. They prefer to be policed by the Union. These men here, men who drink beer for breakfast, there's talk of an armed wing of the Union called the Hardy Boys, who are responsible for said policing. I think it's them.
There are so many of them, maybe we should call reinforcements.
That would just escalate tensions. No captain would sign off on it. Solving one murder isn't worth a conflict between the RCM and the Debarders Union. In fact, even the death of 2 detectives might not warrant an all-out war. So let's keep a cool head, okay?
Let's roll.
One more thing before we do. We don't have to talk to them immediately. We can walk right past them, continue with our business.
Good. A power move. Purposefully concentrate on something else first. Yeah, streetwise. Zoom right past. Do it on your own terms. But aren't you curious to know what they have to say about the murder?
Already
They're
talked to
in no
them.
hurry to leave. They think they own the place. Anyway, I leave that choice to you. Whatever you decide is fine by me.
Already talked to them, buddy. Alright, let's go talk to this kid back here if he's still here.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Hey Kuno, got any speed?
Fucking right, pig. Kuno's filling bathtubs with that shit. Kuno's a kingpin.
Can I have some? Just a little.
Fuck no, pig. Kuno ain't dealing to the popo. Not doing the pork pen for your sad speed habit. You don't know Kuno.
He's got to at least know a source. Look at him. You need to figure this out somehow. You
Alright.
need to befriend him first.
I have more questions about the
Yeah.
crime scene.
The kingdom of Kuno. The fuck do you want with it?
The dead man's clothes were in the trash container. Point to the container. How did they get there?
Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno.
I need to know. It could be a lead to an investigation. Someone may have tampered with the murder scene.
Listen. Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving. Sad shit. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. 500 real.
What?
You'd have to be blind not to notice the giant white letters F-A-L-N running down his trouser leg.
Wait, I asked you what happened to his clothes. You must have seen them just lying
Look,
around.
Kuno ain't seen shit lying around. Except for that you took away. Now you want performance gear or not, Grandpa?
The lieutenant remains silent, but his expression couldn't say, "I told you so," any louder.
Alright, entertain me. What's so great about these
Pig,
pants?
these are foul modulars. Liquid fit, performance crotch, urban survival shit. Made in Mirova by scientists. Pants scientists. Believe it, you need this shit.
He unzips his jacket to give you a quick peek at the plastic wrapped pants. They are graphic black and look brand new.
These could drastically improve your chances of survival in the urban wilderness. Coach Physical Instrument endorses these pants. They are tartan ready.
I might be interested in the pants. Let's talk about this later.
Alright, Pico, shit's rolling.
Don't do business with the pig, Kuno. He's gonna steal all your money, Kuno.
As you can see, Kuno and C don't trust you. Can't do business without trust.
Kuno nods toward the fence. Kuno and C don't trust you. Can't do business without trust.
There's more to his distrust than being a pig. He feels threatened by something obscure in you. What that is, however, remains a puzzle for now.
There's also a mug in the trash. Show him the mug.
The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again?
Yes, does this racist mug have anything to do with it?
Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain. You saying you pigs are after the mug fucker? Cause he's the clothes fucker?
I can't hear you, Kuno. Speak louder, Kuno.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Kuno. Someone has tampered with the crime scene, cleaned some of it up.
Shit, that's tense. Someone's going to the beat-down basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get tied to the radiator.
He nods in approval.
The kid may have something there. He's already come up with an interrogation technique, too.
Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And if he did, he wouldn't squeal. But if you find out, maybe you can...
Tell the Kuno who it was. He's curious. He likes putting two and two together here.
Stop turning into a pig, Kuno. They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching. Get away from my Kuno.
Yeah? Get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the popo. Get your shit done and out of Kuno's face. Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno doesn't fucking...
Alright, let's see. Victim clothes were in the trash container out back, neatly folded. Ask Kuno who else has unauthorized access to whirling trash. Find the person and you'll know who tampered with the scene. Investigate doomed commercial area. Search the malignant entity. Place and said she lives inside the chimney. Find a way in. Prove your authority to Titus Hardy. You have to gain authority in Titus' eyes for the investigation to advance. Soften him up first, maybe investigate the crime scene or the body. Look for a witness, get help from the union boss or the company rep. Tie them to any other crimes. Talk to Titus and establish authority. Okay. Aging cryptozoologist has been out in the reeds for too long, and his wife Lena is very worried. Maybe you can find him when you happen to be on the coast. Alright. His blank ain't nothing to me. A good one. Point at the.
Yes? Hello?
She nods her attention, fully focused on reading. Who are
Me?
you?
No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. If she's such a working class woman, why isn't she working?
Shouldn't a working class woman be working? What are you doing? Have a good day. Shouldn't a working class woman
Not
be
all the
working?
time. Right now I'm browsing books. Even a working class woman needs something to read.
Good.
It is. I know you are.
Do you need the help of a policeman?
What with?
She tries hard to focus on the books.
What with? A lot of things. For example, people tend to go missing.
Maybe your husband is missing.
My husband? No, he's not.
So where could he be?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working?
Where is this going, officer?
Right. Got
She
it,
gives you a
thanks.
short nod and shifts her attention back to books.
Maybe your children are missing.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so where
Are you a policeman or a nanny?
I police wherever I want where they are.
They are not missing, sir.
You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance.
Okay, great. Just making sure.
I see. Thanks.
That's all.
The woman before you nods and returns to her reading.
Hello again, sir.
Shouldn't you be at school or
I
something?
do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
Isn't going to school more important than
Mum
this?
says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed.
There is stress and unease behind these words. She's reciting etiquette.
Who is that? Point to the woman browsing books. Or
Oh, that's Auntie Billy. She's nice if a bit distressed.
she's your aunt?
No, sir. She's a working woman who comes to look at the books a lot.
Why is she distressed?
I think she is a bad husband. Not very nice or helpful.
Alright, let's see if we can do this.
The girl keeps her hands folded, hidden. Why is that?
Hey, why do you keep your hands folded?
What do you mean, sir?
She looks worried. You can show that to me.
She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She doesn't want to show them. The lieutenant stands by, looking at the two of you with little interest.
It's okay.
She brings out her reddened hands, her nails frayed, nearly chewed down to the flesh.
You bite your nails.
And you knew this from me keeping my hands folded?
Yes.
Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could do an easy deduction like that.
Her eyes flash with defiance. She's not impressed. Want more? I bet I can figure out why you bite your nails. I got a few reasons in mind.
She nods, half provocative, half enthusiastic.
You're uptight because your mother and the pressure she's putting on you.
Maybe so, sir. Okay, I know it's a bad habit, and I shouldn't.
I hope this entertained you.
It was okay, sir.
Still got a rebellious streak.
There's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same.
You think so? Fine. Do something better. Deduct something about me. That was a masterclass move. Whatever, kid. I don't.
You're quite sober.
The lieutenant does not flinch at the comment. He does not flinch even a single bit. He is intensely not flinching. It takes effort.
And I'm having a grand time.
I sure hope you are, sir.
She rubs her red
There
nose.
she stands, swaying on her feet, assaulted by the early spring breeze. She smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar. Somehow, there's something you're missing. You have absolutely no idea. Familiar? How? You must have forgotten something you heard. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Look through the pile of Wirral-related
An
items.
endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Katawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag.
Anything that really catches my eye.
There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastique adventure board game, new maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real. That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement, so it makes sense. Nonsense for anemic Beano-clads.
What have you found? And also, do buy the books. There may be teachings in them.
All the pressure has made Annette really anxious. You know, she's been chewing her nails.
God. I've told her not to do that. It's such a disgusting habit. She'll get over it. Anxiety is a part of life.
I don't think she can do anything about
She
it.
can, if she has enough willpower. This is what's called growing pains. Life isn't easy. Life doesn't give breaks.
Come on, ma'am. It's obvious she can't do anything about it. You are placing an unnecessary burden on a young child.
What you're doing is wrong, even I know that, and I usually don't know anything. That is true, and obviously the will of the market, but maybe make an exception for your daughter. Yeah, actually, it's super alright for kids to chew their nails. Hands off, forget it.
She stands stiff and severe, silently fuming. 10 or so seconds pass without change. This is a person coming to terms with a new reality, one where they are wrong. It's not easy.
Oh no. Hold on. I need to invite her inside and apologize. She must be freezing out there. There. I don't know what to say to you. My husband, he tries to teach me business lessons. I have what my mother called a dull mind. All this stress.
She stops, but her mouth keeps moving. Is she an only child?
Yes, I'm afraid so. A real treat she is. It would be nice if she had... No, we couldn't have afforded more children, really. Not in this economy.
A glimmer of sadness blinks through the well-crafted exterior.
Why not?
We're quite busy people, you know, my husband and I. Quite busy. Children are a lot of work. You don't look like a father, so I don't expect you to understand. I'm sorry. I'm sure you do understand.
Is this husband Annette's father?
Yes. My husband is a successful entrepreneur east of the river. If only he were more involved in the business we're running up here. No matter. Soon we'll both be off for Grand Couronne.
Wait, Grand Couronne? What's that?
It's a proper place to live. One of the most peaceful neighborhoods east of Jamrock. You may know it for its massive housing projects. Most of the buildings are empty at the moment. It's a great opportunity to get ahead of the crowds. Better times ahead for sure.
Your husband's also involved with the bookstore.
He made the initial investment. Since then, he's been what you might call a silent partner.
She told me she doesn't go to school anymore.
She's been too busy helping me here. So she studied at home this trimester. This is a temporary solution, of course. I assure you, I of all people understand the importance of education. She will be back in school the moment the store takes off.
And hell freezes over? Never mind. It's not a good topic to get into.
Alright, I had something else in mind.
The woman looks aloof, her features much softer. Occasionally she glances at her daughter's silhouette.
That's all I can say for now, book peddler. Merely looking at the unruly haircut threatens your masculinity. Smells like leather and sweat. What's this? Worn out wall bars, they look unsafe.
The barbell waits patiently on the floor, like a dog for its master.
Looks like the remains of the 24-hour window repair shop.
Yes?
Tell me about the case again.
What do you want to know?
Literally really anything about it. I can't remember a thing.
Ah, yes. The case brief you missed. Now I remember.
Brief, yes, that sounds good.
3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute.
Why didn't we know anything about the caller?
They didn't identify themselves in any way. The tone was muffled using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex.
Why hide themselves?
There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that.
Of course, yes, I understand everything now. Let me just make this perfectly clear. Our job here is to find the killer.
Just to be clear, we are police officers. It's our job to find the killer. That's the case. Uncover and arrest the killer.
Let me go over the preliminary info again.
You mean like a brief? Do you want me to brief you again?
No, I'll
There's no reason to wing anything. If you didn't get the brief, that's okay. I did. 3 days ago, during that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute.
Mega cool, I've heard enough.
Okay then. Was there anything else you wanted to know?
Actually, I have all I need for now.
Good.
Is that Emma's atelier or something?
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
He sounds surprised and a bit
What he
cautious.
means is that these things cost money. Why would anyone just leave it behind? This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC5120, equipped with a Feld mainframe and a Ream-compatible printer. The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Look inside the
It's empty, like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected. The filament you have would fit perfectly inside the compartment.
Insert the production schedule.
Like a smooth drawer, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Press
A
play.
bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good morning. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
Why did you call me Fortress Accident?
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
Do you have any other information about this company?
One moment.
You hear her flip through a catalog before she reads out with studious care.
Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
And what's that? This interactive call-in radio game.
Any other questions?
What's the production schedule?
The filament you have inserted into the reader.
Alright, that's for the explanation.
That was a question. Have you inserted it into the core?
Yes.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
That's all.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard.
Press print.
Nothing happens.
Remove the production
The
schedule.
filament slides out of its glowing nest. This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient.
What am I looking at?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Radio frequencies for what?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
Of course, narrow your eyes. Anatomy of the curse.
Perhaps. The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. They must have had massive airwidth. These things don't come cheap.
Wait, who's the game master?
Someone very important. The leader of a massive on-air game built by these people.
If it's a game, then who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
The cost of airwidth alone must have been huge. Why do you say that?
The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding. What else?
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages. Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes, like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
Inspect the drawings.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins, casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin. And even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Examine the welkin. This is important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a Welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-Welkin races will be purged. The Haldor, the Tworg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin. Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures.
Why would anyone spend so much time on this?
Some people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game.
Who are these creatures? Who drew them? Are they real? I have so many questions.
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
One of them is a Welkin supremacist.
Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the
Just look at
Welkins.
those details. So much effort.
Inspect the photos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat death scenario, a desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Inspect the schedule.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal.
Keep reading what happened.
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
The lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Inspect the notes.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe." The full text reads, "Heat death of the universe is the new black." Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise."
Alright. Scribbled across a notebook, developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe.
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
What is this thing? It looks like a giant ice bear.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door.
Crack open the door.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Relax, Kim. It's a fridge.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge.
His face bathed in the harsh light of the open fridge door.
Let's take a look inside.
Look inside
The shelves are
refrigerator.
empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Take the note from the door.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
Examine one of the ice cream wrappers.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
What is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
He studies it in the light. So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper carnivore.
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The lieutenant points at the snaky red cable running from the fridge.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
Close the door. An ice cream maker defrosted and unplugged. The flashlight casts a strange shadow. There is a hidden doorway down there. Down here. Two rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Where are we? Look around the secret
Seems
room.
like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Look, there's a hole in the wall. Shine the light to the hidden
There is,
compartment.
yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Okay, I do.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Inspect
Most
the
of them
rifles.
are rusty and inoperable, like the rest. But one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
This one looks nice. Take the rifle.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
What does this mean, a rifle
It
here?
means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind.
I already looked there. A frozen ice cream maker that's still running.
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
Intercom wires running into the breaker box. Okay. The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Kim, what is this thing? Is it a furnace?
Looks like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney.
He opens the door and gingerly peeks inside.
No one has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Look inside the furnace.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs, the echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying or what's producing them.
What are you doing?
The lieutenant asks when he sees you climbing halfway inside the furnace. I'm a hallucinator, maybe it's empty. I hear the murderer of the hanged man talking. I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking upstairs.
Wait, really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
Those voices I heard, maybe it's the malignant entity since said it lives in the chimney.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
Why would I smear my hands with coal? This is a white check. You may retry it. Leave. Anything else? Wind howls in from the coal chute above.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Someone tried to exercise the curse using technology. Looks like an undercover counterintelligence program. Just a failed business from the other question. Looks like an undercover counterintelligence program.
No, that's not it. I think...
The lieutenant takes a step back, steepling his hands.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
How are they planning to
Through
do
call-in
that?
stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment. He's a little hooked. Coordinating so many games would take a whole switchboard of people, possibly divided into sub-frequencies.
Someone ever done
Not
this
to
before?
my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry. But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an interinsulary game before. We just don't have the technology.
And this was a role-playing game?
Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the WeWorld board game, with hit death thrown in.
What do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
They were insane if they thought they could do this. It was just a play to cheat money out of their investors' pockets. The curse got them, I see no other explanation. The world is cold and lonely. It was just a play to cheat money out of their investors' pockets.
I don't think so. I think they genuinely believed.
The lieutenant looks around the derelict room. The pipes howl and a rat crosses the floor. Ugh.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Insane mesh tank top plus 1 drama. Clinically insane. Where did you even get that one? No, really. Who put it in that drawer? No further comments. Wear it at your own risk. A broken Bell McGrath from ages past. It's a 4-shot bolt action military rifle with a wooden frame. Handwritten note you found from the giant ice bear fridge. It still bears some marks from the fruit-shaped kitchen magnets that were used to secure it to the refrigerator door.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
Lieutenant leans closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active.
Read the note.
Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Suliswaf.
I wonder who wrote that note.
Looks like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
Maybe they had to leave in a hurry.
That's a plausible hypothesis.
Remind me again, what's the filament memory?
It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
It's like the production schedule you found. Only this one's an off-site copy.
Who's the illiterate ginger kid?
Really? You don't have a single guess?
You mean Kuno?
Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on a filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter.
Do you have any ideas where the frozen ice cream maybe could be?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box?
Put the note away. Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. What is it? Postcard.
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives. This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from here. What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens. Still nothing. No. Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy. Your fist hurts now.
What the heck?
There must be another way to wake up whoever is in there.
Does someone live here? Floorboards creak.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut.
Turn the ice cream crank.
Turning the crank feels oddly satisfying, like stirring your childhood dreams. In the distance, you hear water dripping. It's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur. What better to assuage the creeping sense of failure than some frozen fat and sugar?
Try to crack open
You
the
slip
lid.
your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. No, this is going to need something else. Some kind of super pry bar. Don't even try to open it with a regular pry bar. You're just wasting your time. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
Equip the pry bar by going to the Tools tab in your inventory. From there...
Oops.
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine.
Really?
It has a hand-cranked
3%.
ice cream churner on top and an electric freezer that
Pry
appears to
bar
be
is not
frozen
strong
shut.
enough. Better grip with gloves. I thought I had gloves on. Half-light unfiltered contact. Fan Ultra Series gloves.
This orange machine, turning the crank, feels oddly satisfying. It's all gone now. What better to assuage the creeping sense of failure
Still
than
have
some
3%.
frozen fat and sugar? This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine.
Alright, I don't have enough.
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge. A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace. It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs, the echo is so prominent.
What are you doing?
I hear the murder of the hangman talking. I'm not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone
Wait,
talking upstairs.
really? Maybe it's coming from behind those safety curtains we saw upstairs.
You muster all your strength and yell. Your dehydrated, hungover throat can produce little more than a dry croak. A lifetime of smoking and drinking will do that to you. The chatter from the chimney continues on as before. You seem to have made no impression on whatever's up there. Then again, maybe it's worth actually trying something up there.
Maybe you should let your voice rest, officer. Try again later.
A lush layer of coal now covers your skin, sinking into the wrinkles. Your hands look ancient. Maybe you could paint something with this coal. Leave a cave painting for future archaeologists. No, that would be stupid.
Heck?
Still, it's good to have this dirt on you. Real men wear coal for makeup. A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts.
Alright. Well.
As before, an iron safety curtain curves before your eyes. It covers half the room. This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from here. Again, your voice becomes a raspy croak mid-sentence. It's silent in the abandoned office building. No one answers you. You took your shot and still missed. Well, you did your best, champ. Shame it wasn't good enough.
Yes?
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here. The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: Call in, Tune Out, Wirral Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe. The full text reads, Heat Death of the Universe is the new black. Another note says, the biggest advancement outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes. Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Like a smooth draw, the speaker comes to life. Step.
Good morning. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule? Good. Please repeat the password. No. Still no. I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder Fortress accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password? Received.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of...
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for... Yes, I am alive. I am 74 years old and my name is Yvonne.
She repeats passwords. Programming people are all paranoid.
I work as a repeater at the East Insulindian repeater station. It's my job to know where you are, Fortress Accident. As for me, well, I am sitting in my cubicle, surrounded by a wall of radios.
On an island on the river Esperance, a small woman, all skin and bones, sits in a room filled with audio equipment. Thousands of tiny lights are reflected back from her prescription lenses, like stars in the dark.
Now, please tell me if there's anything else I can do, Fortress Accident. Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. The filament slides out of its glowing nest. Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the frame.
Alright, I gotta take a quick break. I'll be right back. Actually, I just looked at the time. I'm gonna end my stream. Thanks for watching, and hope you have a great day.